Yo, what's up, world? Happy 2024, man. We up in this thing, man. Nerd Strip Club back in the building. Yeah.
Yo, what up, world? It's your boy Johnny Quest again with Slim Jim Longfoot, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Strip Club. This particular episode, man, I know we've been back and we haven't seen y'all in a while, but now we're here, man. And most importantly, we want to get into a review. So this episode is going to be a review. We might talk about a few other things, but man, mainly we're going to talk about He-Man Revelation right after this.
Revolution. It's a revolution, baby.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Revolution and Revelation.
So check it out. Yo, we about to get nerdy and dirty, but before we do, y'all already know the vibes. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, man? So, y'all, it's been a long time. We've waited, 3 years, Slim, since this show. We've been waiting for this to come out, and man, did it not disappoint. It was amazing. Masters of the Universe came back with complete 100% full throttle, and for everybody that complained about the previous series, all I can say is, man,
I gotta say, I'm gonna keep it true with you. I ain't about to sugarcoat in 2024, man. Yo, y'all if you ain't like Revelation, and if you don't like Revolution, because if Revolution is perfect, you are not a He-Man fan if you didn't like neither one of them. First and foremost, if you've been there from the jump street, you know what I'm saying? Sorry to interrupt, Johnny Quick Game, but if you've been there from the jump street, if you're a real He-Man fan, not just someone who ain't watched He-Man since 1980 something. You don't kept up with the books in DC. You don't kept up with all the storylines. If you are a fan of Masters of the Universe, this right here did not disappoint at all. At all.
I mean, it touched on some lore. It brought out characters that, a lot of characters that we never even seen in the original series due to the fact that they came out as toys later. Yeah, Rio Blast, who was a very popular toy. It just gave homage to those things that we have seen in the past and now able to see it now, man. But I can tell you, it definitely was an awesome ride. I mean, I was super impressed from the very first episode. The way they came in, like it was action packed. A lot of people who had their qualms about Teela's storyline in the last one, you can definitely see where they was going as far as like trying to make this story come to life. And I'm just like I said, just really blown away by it. But another thing that I can say about it is the animation stepped up even more, because the last time it was great, but man, when I say it was amazing this time, it was amazing.
It was the word. It was beautiful. The animation is simply beautiful. It looks so good. Like every shot is basically, a screensaver. Especially that iconic, that what I consider iconic shot of Adam and Teela. As he is saying, by the power of Grayskull holding her. He got the black on. And I mean, you can feel the love right there. And once again, I think that's even high so because of the voice change. Don't get it twisted, because I love Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy, who played Teela in Revelation. But Melissa Benoit, if I'm mispronouncing her last name, but she played Supergirl for 6 seasons on the CW series Supergirl. She did a great job voicing Teela in this show right here. Along with her real life husband Chris Wood, who plays Adam / He-Man. They was also on Supergirl together as well. He played Monel. He played Monel on Supergirl. So I don't know if they shot together, in the same booth, doing their voice work, but you can feel, that chemistry with those two, especially in every scene that they in, not just their voices, but just the way the animation is. I mean, I can't say enough about the animation, because
show that screen, Slim, so they can see it. They can take a quick look at it.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So when we talking about Masters of the Universe, y'all, Masters of the Universe, of course, first premiered back in 1981. It's been over 40 years now, and this series Revelation came out in 2021 from Powerhouse. You know, Kevin Smith is one of the executive producers. We first heard about this as far back as 2019 when we first heard about, you know what I'm saying, Revelation coming out. And one of our fellow art bros, Eddie Nunez, he of course is one of the artists that was a part of, you know, the storyboarding and cover, you know, and art for, you know, the toys and everything of that nature. Shout out to Eddie Nunez. Revelation was freaking amazing to me. But of course, you know, these weird people, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too R-rated, you know what I'm saying, in my disses, but these basement gang, you know what I'm saying, didn't like Tila, you know, getting the center stage, but it was perfect how they did with Revelation, because you know what I'm saying, like we had to see Tila's growth, because that was something that we didn't get in the original series, because we didn't see the finality of her finding out who she was. We know who Prince Adam is. We know who He-Man is. But she never found out that she was the sorcerer's daughter until Revelation. And the name of it was Revelation. So you know it had to be a revelation. That's something that real He-Man fans have been waiting for, you know, since the 80s. I mean, yeah, you know, it's already been, you know, introduced in comic books if you read the comic books, but you know, that's a, you know, different you know what I'm saying, as far as like, you know, if you put multiverse into situations, you know, that happened in the comic books. We didn't get that in animation yet. And so we
But
got
that's kind of weird to me though, because Slim, you've seen the Mike Young cartoon, the 2000X he made, right? And
O2, you know.
and we've seen Tila become the Snatress Lord or the Serpent um, Sorceress on that series, and so people knows that Tila's powerful and that she's got some character growth to go. But the thing is that this is a continuation, direct continuation from the 80s story, loosely, of course, because now it's more with a mature nature, and because as we grew up watching this show, the the show has to grow up too. So the show's kind of grown up with us as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of the themes in here are a little bit more mature based because at this point, we can handle it. I
Because I mean,
think
because honestly, it's really, I mean, like, let's keep it true, because there's nobody. I mean, like, yeah, like you can find. I mean, like, it's not a 10-year-old out there saying, "Man, I can't wait for He-Man to come out." Let's keep it true. But you know, but if they got into He-Man, let's say if they, you know, like if they was to get into He-Man by watching Revelation, and then now Revolution's out, you know what I'm saying, they have that as a basis, plus the other 21 He-Man cartoon, you know, the more that was more garnered towards our kids that came out in 2021 along with Revelation. So you probably do have a younger He-Man fan base, but at the same time, we know this Revelation and Revolution is meant for the OGs. It's meant for the original He-Man, the Masters of the Universe fans. So, you know, like, if you don't already know, as far as like when it comes to Tila and who she is, because she is the sorcerer's daughter, that was something that we knew in the original series. So, you know that Tila has to get that power boost. You know this. You know what I'm saying? So real He-Man fans ain't complaining about it. That's all I gotta say. Real He-Man fans ain't complaining about it.
and, and the side note about that, about as far as like real He-Man fans, whether I think this is the type of show that the episodes were so good and the story was so good
Oh,
that you
good.
could actually literally start from this point. If you were cruising through Netflix and you just like you're an anime fan or you're into action cartoons or fantasy, I honestly think if you came across this and watched it, you would just be blown away, even if you had no idea who these characters were or
Exactly,
nothing,
just like
because the
Castlevania.
storytelling was just that good.
Just like Castlevania. Like I know of the Castlevania games, but I am not a Castlevania game player. I man, I'm trying to think if I ever play a Castlevania game. To be honest with you, like I probably played maybe like, if I had to speak on the totality of how much Castlevania I have played, I know it's been less than 30 minutes of Castlevania I played. if I was to go to my parents' basement, which is an awesome place here in Atlanta, Georgia, I could go to their arcade machine. I could probably play the old school Castlevania if they got it up there. But other than that, growing up, I did not play Castlevania. But I love the series, and the series, the original series that came out from Netflix and Castlevania Nocturne. I love those two series, which is also done by Powerhouse, not the same animation crew, but saying that it's all the same animation studio. So Castlevania is amazing. I'm not a Castlevania nut. I'm not a Castlevania fan. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the game, like I'm not a game player for back in the day. I know of the games, but I didn't play the games growing up. And so I love the series. And so someone who probably didn't watch He-Man growing up, or young now, like somebody in their teens and 20s now, you can still love Masters of the Universe without having been an OG fan like me and Johnny Quest Gaming. You can still get into this and be like, oh snap, this is good. You know what I'm saying? Like this is for those who love action, sci-fi, fantasy. Like it has all of those elements, which is what we loved about He-Man to begin with, because it had sci-fi, it had fantasy, it had, what I'm saying, it had all of those elements in it. And so you really got in tune with that with Revolution, because they really play upon the whole situations between magic and technology in this one, and which is what Hordak, the one of the primary villains in this series, and of course back in the day was, saying he was more tech than anything. And if you've seen his lore over the decades, since he first premiered in the 80s, and since then, with the Horde Primes and all that, like, and reading the DC books, you know what it is. You know what it is. But if you don't, if you have no history of none of this, it gives you what you want right here. Like I really feel like if you don't know Masters of the Universe or never heard of it before 3 years ago or whatever, you could get into this and be like, oh, this is, man, this fire, you know.
And I think one reason why is because the storytelling on this, all stories, the best stories are just as good as all sum of its parts, because every single character that you see on the front of this screenshot right here are all represented well. Like everybody has their time to shine. It just wasn't something where they were focused on one character, which is obviously He-Man, but they focused on every character, and they had their ability to shine and show off their powers and their abilities and what made them special in the storyline. And I think that's what was so important about this was that great storytelling, because even you go to Andrea, which is a new character who was introduced in the last series. You
Love.
see her as Man at Arms now, and you see her character development, and you see how important factor she is. And then, of course, Evil Lynn, which has an amazing character growth, And, you see her, as well as you see Tila continue on to grow as her character and develop her powers, and more or less come to the realization of her love between her and Adam, which I think was very important. Is one of those things in the 80s, it was always there. And most 80s cartoons was like that because, at the time, a lot of the influence was Japanese animation or Japanese animators. And I love Japanese animation, don't get me wrong, but they have zero idea how to keep a romantic connection actually exposed. They do a really good job of hinting at it. They really do a really good job at the flirtation and letting you see that they should be in a relationship. But as far as getting them together, it's almost less to zero. It's kind of like the Rick Hunter and
Rick Hunter and Lisa. You know what I'm saying? Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? It's the whole will they, won't they thing. And
that's exactly what you see. And that's then the thing with Tila and He-Man kind of. But I mean, honestly, again, this show has grown up. Back in the 80s when we watched it, it was all comedy and you had some action, but it was a kid's cartoon. Let's be honest what it was. It was a kid's cartoon. But now these characters have grown up with us, and we're seeing more of who they are in a more adult light, something that we can still recognize and enjoy and really love these characters. And they did a really good job. I mean, one part that I thought was really groundbreaking was the conversation that Battle Cat and He-Man had. Like, I've heard Battle Cat talk a lot of times, but with a He-Man, I mean, it was in the 80s, it was Battle Cat. He spoke, but it wasn't as knowledgeable. Now, in the new He-Man that just came out, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the CG, we got to see the wise Cringer, the wise Battle Cat, which I think is cool because he gave He-Man not only just a Battle Cat to ride in the battle with, not Cringer to be his friend, but he also gave him a bit of a mentor as well as kind of like a guardian, and somebody that he seemed like he was a consort for He-Man. So I think that was really awesome. And then the other thing was, and we're going to talk about this in depth, was the development of Skeletor, his past. Again, Mike Young, 2000X He-Man, they definitely worked on the Keldor story, as far as him and bringing him front facing as you get the storyline between King Randor and his brother, kind of like the Thor and Loki type thing. But in this storyline in the 80s, of course, we never really touched on that. And so it was good to finally see, okay, this is their take from the original lore and see what it is. Because I think that's very important to know where Skeletor came from. And of course, Skeletor's had all these weird origin stories and, where he comes from and who he is, this and that. But I think this one probably, for me personally, did the best telling of that, being under the mentorship of Hordak.
And especially like we knew that you knew back in the 80s that Skeletor was once a part of the evil horde. We know that as being canon and lore from back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? If you, I mean, obviously, like I said, if you was a He-Man fan back then, and of course all you had to do was watch The Secret of the Sword, which first introduced She-Ra, you knew that Skeletor was of course a part of Hordak's people. You know what I'm saying? He was with Hordak when he kidnapped Baby Adora, who is Adam's twin sister. You know what I'm saying? And so but what I loved about this, and of course we saw in Revelation, seeing Skeletor in his, original Horde garb, all black with the red bat evil Horde logo on him, what I'm saying, looking clean with it, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, Skeletor, he's rooting in magic, but you didn't know what the full origins of his magic was, but you knew the Havoc staff was a part of it. And so what they of course showed in the Mike Young, the 2002 aka 2000X He-Man, was that he got like some type of acid in his face. And so what happened, he needed magic to of course help, saying to help him out, which of course the magic well not the magic from it didn't come from Hordak per se, but Hordak was it was kind of a part, because one thing about the 2000 He-Man, even though we didn't get a chance to see Hordak in there, but we got glimpses of Hordak because he would have been in the season 3 of that if it had came out. But Hordak was, I think they was gearing towards Hordak being more magic or origin back then, even though Hordak, as we know, is more technology based, what I'm saying, like he's more techno organic than anything, because he can train, he got all technological armor and can transform himself, like back in the 80s, like you would see him turn his whole body into a rocket and all that type of stuff, what I'm saying.
It's just so 80s, man. It's so 80s.
I mean, it was kiddie, what I'm saying, because it was no rhyme or reason behind it, like just like Megatron, this big robot turning into a human sized gun, So
no, it's got to be some type of weird figures going on. But one thing that I do like about this particular story, besides just being an amazing He-Man story, is back in the 80s, some of the best and most successful stories was the combination of magic and sci-fi. Just like, we got Thundercats, with different shows on that level, like Marshall Bravestar. All those types of stories had that magic with the technology, and you would just be wondering, like, why are these people running around in loincloths and doing magic, and they got flying jets and planes and robots and all that. And like
right.
He-Man, I know for me being a kid, that was my biggest attraction, was the fact he's a barbarian, but they got
right. He was like, I mean, like, especially back in the 80s, like it was so much, as far as like barbarian stuff going on, because Conan, for instance, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, how can you not relate to, what I'm saying, you like Conan growing up, you like Beastmaster growing up, and so then you had all the other elements with, such as Star Wars was, of course, new at that time, with the lightsabers and the sci-fi. And so when you combine the elements of barbarian, the fantasy, Frank Frazetta type stuff, and sci-fi, and then you get this mesh right here. You get this barbarian, this big super strong barbarian dude, who lives in a fantastical world with magic, but not only magic, but sci-fi as well. Like when you look at the comparison between He-Man and Man in Arms, Man in Arms, who got all the gadgets and the guns and lasers and stuff. He-Man, fighting with his fist and his sword, and he riding on a big green tiger. So it's like, and he's transforming from a prince, to from a prince to He-Man, even though of course there was no physical difference between Adam and He-Man back in the day, obviously, except for their skin tone.
Which is so weird.
Went from being pale and blonde to orange brown skin, man. So that's what the difference was back then as far as that go.
He had
But
the Superman effect.
most definitely.
He
And
takes
so
his glasses off, and you're like, "Where's Superman?
where did he go? Where do you go? Also, another thing, shout outs to Keith David, the legendary Keith David, who has been doing voice work on animation for a number of years, most notably, of course, being Goliath 30 years ago in Gargoyles, being spun in the HBO animated series, and so much more. He, of course, did the voice of Hordak, which he was shrewd, menacing. You know what I'm saying? He was on point. He was on point. And Meg Foster, who of course was Evelyn in the Masters of the Universe movie back in '87, her doing the motherboard, perfect. And I can't wait to see the other women of the evil horde. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see that next season, because we already seen one who we haven't seen the face of, but if you a He-Man fan, you already know who it is. Because Shadow Weaver, Cat Ra. I hope we get a chance to see this Masters of the Universe versions of those femme fatales, those villainous women. Of course, we had the She-Ra thing, little cartoon that we had a few years back, but this right here is where it at, because this is where it's all gonna come together. And for anybody thinking that She-Ra ain't gonna be up in here, you crazy, because she ain't already been up in here twice already. You know what I'm saying? If you pay attention to Revolution, you already seen her, especially.
And with that, I mean, you gotta. I always say, man, you gotta do the work. You gotta do the research. You gotta do the research, because if you read the comics, then this storyline is loosely based to something major. A major villain is coming, because with Teela becoming the sorceress, the serpent sorceress, this is about to be Rise of the Snake Man. And just my particular take on it, when Keldor has his spirit that's talking to him, aka William Shatner, who did a really good job.
Shout out to Shatner, man. Kirk, man, Captain Kirk in the building, still doing it. He in his 90s, man.
Yeah, man, you gotta give props to the Shat, man. He's doing his thing. But I honestly believe 100% that's King Hiss. You can't tell me no different. I think it's King Hiss. If you read the comics, the DC comics, that King Hiss character was able to manipulate and inhabit people's bodies through time. It's pretty much a self-preservance mechanism that he does. He possessed King Randor, and King Randor, you think he died bad in here?
No. Man.
No, King Randor got ripped to shreds. He got shredded like a piece of skin off of a snake whenever King Hiss came through. He was going to do the same thing to He-Man, but luckily He-Man was saved. But King Hiss, if you don't know who King Hiss is, he is one of the original conspirators back in the day who had the most power, that was in control of the serpents. And at that time, he also worked with the conspirators against King Grayskull, the original King Grayskull, and a tribute to his murder. And so I definitely think that this is King Hiss. I think we're about to go into that series. I don't think we're going to see it with the next 5 episodes. I think the next 5 episodes more or less will be the rise of Vespra, to show whenever she comes to Eternos and pretty much raises hell for until you find out that she's actually She-Ra. And I think the next series, I think they're gonna use her face being hidden to wait until they get the licenses agreement by the time season 3 come, because with the reviews on this, and we'll get to reviews, with the reviews on this, Netflix has got anything they want. This series is going to get anything they want. Let me tell you that. I can tell you that now. They're going to get anything they want. Any character they ask for, any license agreement is going to be cut in half and served over to them, because this show has made a lot of people happy. Let me tell you, it is definitely the show to be regular right now.
This show right here, bruh. This show right here. This show is nothing short of amazing. This show is nothing short of spectacular. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't just saying it because I just finished seeing it. I'm saying it because I know good shows. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to this right here, this was, man, like, man, it was it was everything you needed it to be. And with the whole King His thing, like, of course, obviously we haven't seen my boy Cobra Khan yet. We haven't seen him pop up, which Cobra Khan would be, a current, he would be, saying a modern day Snake Man as opposed to King Hiss's crew from, back during his era. And so, if you've seen the Mike, or even if you haven't seen, but I'm gonna tell you the Mike Young, the 2002 Heat Man series, um, the Snake Man up in there. That was our first time seeing the Snake Man get animated up in there because they didn't make it into the 80s cartoons. They had the toys, but they didn't make it into the cartoons. And so the Snake Man is such a big part of it all too, because as you can see, one of the staffs that was used to create, the afterlife, it is a snake staff. And I mean, it holds that much power, it holds that much power, is part of the three. And so, so the snakes have a lot to do with everything going on, the power of Zor, the snake staff and the havoc staff, like all of that there is bananas, man. And I am just I'm geek, man. Hey, after I had got through seeing it, we sorry that we giving this to y'all so late. Hopefully y'all get a chance to see this in the replay. For those who are watching this in the replay, we appreciate y'all so much. But yeah, after I had saw this, I was like, hey son, we gotta come back, man. We gotta come back now. We got to come back now.
Definitely had to come back on this one, man. I mean, I'll tell you the show. As far as like He-Man, Master of the Universe, the only downside I'm gonna say about this, and is it a
Short.
downside?
It's
Is
short.
it a downside?
It's short. That's
It's
the
short.
downside. And that's the
But I'm
only
telling you, this is a toy selling device, dude. Like, if you ever looked at a cartoon and was like, well, they made the cartoon to sell toys. This here was made to sell toys. And I'm talking about high level collector toys. They are going to sell the crap out of some toys on here, man. They brought back some OG characters, some never before seen characters animated. They brought back one, but the Easter eggs. So let's go into the Easter eggs. What about the fact that He-Man was on top of Grayskull and he used the sword to turn and unlock Grayskull, which back in the day was a toy feature where you would put both power swords together and it would unlock Grayskull. How awesome was that? I mean, the
battle armor He-Man.
Battle armor He-Man.
Battle
with the
armor
slash
He-Man.
across. And you saw it change. The slash was across his chest.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? And understandably, you know what I'm saying, like, stuff like and the fact that they gave a reason for it, which was great, because even though he was in his He-Man transformation, but he wasn't with he didn't have his power sword with him. And so Andra, shout outs to Andra, was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got your sword with you. So he just had his axe, which was so cool because he had the axe, y'all. He had his axe with him. And so he was like, okay, go wear this into battle, you know what I'm saying, to give you some backup, you know what I'm saying, because I mean, hey, sometimes you're gonna need some backup. And then going back to his sword, where his sword had to go get upgraded by none other than a character that was introduced in the Masters of the Universe movie back in 1987, which was not in the original series back then, and basically was used because they wasn't able to put Orko in the movie, which is why it was so perfect that they had Orko, trading
Right.
remarks with him. So Gwildor is now officially, you know what I'm saying, he was already a part of the movie in 87, but now he's a part of He-Man for real, like not just the movie character. We got Gwildor now in the books, and I mean in the series. And so that in itself was amazing. I love the interaction between him and Oracle and what he brought to the table. He wasn't just there to say, "Oh, we're gonna throw Guido in for fan service," or folk that liked him from the movie or whatever. No, he was in for a real reason, and it was so cool because when Manning Arms and Oracle went up to the door, as soon as I saw the door, I was like, "Wait, that's Guido's door. I know that door. I know that door." And then when the thing came out in the eye, I was like, wow. I was like, yo.
Man, did that heal an age-old wound for me? Like, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
when I was a kid and I saw the He-Man movie, it was okay, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see everything I saw in the cartoon.
We wanted to see Battle Cat. We wanted to see Oracle. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean,
But the way they spin this narrative,
we didn't even get Prince Adam. We
didn't
didn't
get
get
none of it.
You
But
know?
when you just look at this, when they spin it this way, and it's just like, oh, it was just a particular adventure that they had, I'm okay with it now. I'm
Right.
okay. It was just an adventure. It was just a little small story. They just happened to go to Earth and have to fight Skeletor. I'm okay with that.
It was a little episode.
Because you brought it home to me. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, that's good writing. That's passion. And I mean, we got Kevin Smith is a great writer, but let's give the just due to who the original creators who wrote the storylines for He-Man, who had all this stuff,
Who had so much that they had for He-Man that don't even scratch the surface of what we saw as kids. You know what I'm saying? It's just like with my own book, Jelly Bean Dream, which was magnificently drawn by Johnny Quest Gaming. For those who haven't been keeping up with us in 2023, that's what's been going on. Us getting back on these books with UGI Studios, you feel me? But like, it's so much that you bring, into the universes that you create that might not even see the light of day. But when you go back and then you find out that all this stuff was going on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what people probably look at the two swords in Revelation, like, wait, it was two swords to create the power sword? That don't make no that's part of the original myth, though. They didn't just make that for 2021. That been there.
But then on top of that, I don't know how much like people really know about character building and character development. I'm not going to say I'm the master of anything or a master writer or anything like that, but I think everything that the characters went through in Revelation was worth it because you had He-Man die and go to pre-Eternia and learn himself and be able to cope with death, and then them being able to understand that there's more to life than just being on Earth or Eternia, and then you're going to this great hall of heroes. So that made things a little bit easier. And He-Man had to be literally faced with death to be a stronger character. And then the reveal to Tila about everything that's going on was just not a reveal to Tila, basically to the entire kingdom of Eternia.
Right. Everybody had to find out that, wait, Prince Adam and who? Right. Prince Adam was He-Man.
And that had to get them ready for what was to come. And then on top of that, we also had to introduce new characters. Like if she never went down her journey of becoming this rogue and being outside doing her thing, we never would have met Andra.
Right.
We never would have made that character. Then Evil Lynn, her character development, she would have never became the character she became. She would have never been on that council, but she's seen everything in the universe and become an understanding and been a better character, and that growth is real. And then on top of that,
Cosmic Enforcer, like that's like a spin-off series. You read it, she right there. They might throw some books in with that one. Like and Lena Headey, I can't say enough about Lena Headey. I have been loving Lena Headey since 300. You know what I'm saying? She played Sarah Connor on the Sarah Connor Chronicles, that the short-lived Fox series, and she, of course, y'all know she played the number one chick you love to hate, Cersei, in Game of Thrones. So you know what I'm saying, like man, like Lena Headey, like she doing her thing as Evil Lynn. So you know what I'm saying, shout outs to her on everything on that there, and just the growth of that character, period. Because Evil Lynn, like I just love Evil Lynn's name. Even though it got evil in it, I've always loved Evil Lynn's name. I've loved her name since I was a kid because it just flowed so perfectly, like Evil Lynn, like and like everything about it. And then of course Meg Foster playing her so amazing in Masters of the Universe. Like that was the perfect real life Evelyn right there, you know, and with those piercing eyes she has, and her voice too, which still holds up, you know, as Motherboard playing Motherboard in Rebel.
Iconic, just iconic. That's all I
Right.
can say.
So
Iconic.
it's man, like and Mark Hamill, shout outs to Mark Hamill doing a great job as Skeletor again. You know, Mark Hamill, who has been sci-fi has been part of his life for the betterment of his life, you know, between sci-fi and of course doing voice work, you know, the Joker, you know what I'm saying, being Luke Skywalker, Fire Lord Ozai, and Skeletor, you know, just to name a few, you know what I'm saying? Like he is doing his thing. He is doing his thing, man.
Man, I
And
think he's a great Skeletor. I mean,
right.
I just the Skeletor. The only Skeletor I've seen that's menacing is, of course, we got to go back to the He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, the short-lived CG series. These two Skeletors are the man.
Right. Yeah. The I was talking about the 2021. Yeah. Like like that Skeletor, like that, like even though you know it's aimed towards kids, but that Skeletor along with Mark Hamill Skeletor are the two best Skeletor. Like 2021 was truly Skeletor's year. Like that was his year
Oh
because
yeah,
like hey, he had killed He-Man. He had, you know what I'm saying. He got killed as well, but then he came back first and then got the power. Like like man. Skeletor, hey, Skeletor is a classic character. Like you can't like you Skeletor is a classic character. He is a great villain, and it's so funny because you think about the fact that like I mean, of course, some people will look at his face and be like, "Oh, that's scary," but you know, it's a skull. We all got a skull. We all got that up underneath our skin. But when you see that
man, that was the coolest
talking
thing
a
ever to me as a
talking
kid.
person, a talking person, you know, with a skull head in there talking, you know, it's like wow. And then like and seeing the animation, seeing the transformation of him from Keldor to Skeletor in the flashback was just rawness, you know what I'm saying? To see that, you know what I'm saying, him grabbing the Havoc staff and seeing it, just seeing Keldor is amazing. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that um they of course went deeper into the lore here because you know him and Randor was of course separated from each other as kids because you know their dad, you know, sent him back to his people, you know, at an early age because it was like, hey, you know what I'm saying, like he wanted him to be there, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, the difference of skin complexion is what, you know, did it in because it was like, yeah, they not gonna accept this you know, this half breed is their king, blah blah blah. And that's the sad part about, you know, that situation then because you know he was indeed, you know, his dad's firstborn. But you know what I'm saying, but like He Man said, you know what I'm saying, even if you're even like I gave you the kingdom and look at what you did. You still,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, didn't be who you needed to be. You could have been like, hey, you know what I'm saying, Hordak and them trying to take over y'all. Hey, we need to, you know what I'm saying, gear up, battle up. But you know, he had already got enslaved to him. You know, he already felt like, hey. But by the time he finally realized, hey, I need to get from up on the Hordak. Well, of course, you know, he did it for himself eventually, but not for the betterment of Eternia, but for himself. And you know, trying to, you know, of course, take over again.
And that's all it was him trying to take over. And honestly, to be perfectly honest, I mean, uh, unfortunately, Skeletor is a one-trick pony. Like
Mm-hmm.
he has always been just the epitome of the bad guy who will stop at nothing to achieve what he wants to achieve, even though sometimes it might not even make sense to him or the people around him. But he definitely gonna do everything he can do, and that's one
And
thing I
I
think
don't
that.
mind that because you know some people are just bad. Like
Yep.
like like we were saying the other day about, you know, like the MCU, they're always trying to make villains sympathetic and like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you have to, you know what I'm saying, understand, you know, that, you know, they don't think that they're a bad guy, you know, they're doing it for some type of reason that they believe is for the betterment of blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are just evil. Just like Hordak. Like Hordak, like he wants to conquer, he wants to take over. You know what I'm saying? He gonna do whatever. he want to do to take over. And I love the fact that in here, they didn't call themselves the evil horde. They only called themselves either the horde, or at one point somebody said, I believe it was the motherboard who said the holy horde. So
Right.
what I'm saying, that's how they see themselves. You know what I'm saying? They see, but not saying that he saw himself as a good guy, but he see himself as more than better, more than anybody else. Is just like with my people in the Jelly Bean Dream universe, the Legion of Rogues. You know what I'm saying? They see themselves as, what I'm saying, this is what you need to be about. You know what I'm saying? You all need to be subjugated by me for the betterment for yourself. You know what I'm saying? For myself. Because I'm in control of you. And so it's a wild thing like that. And so they all playing chess up in there. Just like when we saw the revelation, the reveal of Keldor, being Skeletor, given the crown. You know what I'm saying? That they were like, we got the pawns, we got the knights, we got the queen, and we got the king. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, hey, man, that was wild. And it was a trip because I was wondering what the trickery was going to be afoot, because when Keldor was out there with Adam and them, and then you saw Skeletor attacking, I was like, wait, hold on, is this some magic going on? Obviously got to be some type of trick, because I know daggone well Keldor got to be Skeletor, so what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, okay, yeah, they did that up. And then of course seeing Leech, seeing Montana, seeing Grizzlor from the Horde, what I'm saying, up in here in this amazing animation. They look great. They
That
look
was awesome.
so freaking great. They look so freaking great. I hope we get a chance to see Modalock and the rest of, like I say, the rest of the Horde in
Well,
the
they showed Motor
huh.
No, they didn't show Motor They didn't.
No, they didn't show Modalock. They didn't show Modalock or even Multibot. Well, Modalock created Multibot. That's like his creation that he made,
Mm-hmm.
in his image, with the extra parts and stuff. And then of course you got of course, like I said, Shadow Weaver, Catra. I know I guess they probably up under the whole situation with She-Ra, because they was in her cartoon as well. But hopefully we'll get a chance to see all of them, because we didn't get Etheria. We didn't get Etheria name dropped in here, other than because we don't know what planet what the Horde was on. Like they was either on another planet and they came through the portal, because when they took over Castle Grayskull, that was when the Horde was able to come through, because they came through a portal or whatnot. And so, like, oh, this show, man, this show was so
We didn't even talk about Granomir yet.
right.
We
And
haven't seen him since the 80s.
Granomir, that was freaking amazing to see him pop up. You know what I'm saying? Like every little aspect of this show was simply amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. You can't sit up and tell me that, what I'm saying, that this show wasn't amazing, because it was truly amazing, man. It was truly amazing. And
Now,
I
what I think is also cool too
yeah,
is that we're going to go back and get to see the whenever we come back. Of course, the technological virus, since Motherboard has been destroyed. Now,
right.
spoiler alert. Sorry, guys, but since
Hey, this is a spoiler review. This is a spoiler review. So, if you ain't seen it and don't want to get spoiled,
you
then you
probably
don't need
shouldn't have turned in. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have
right.
tuned in.
It's in the title. It says spoiler review. So it's here. It's
But
here.
with Motherboard being dead and Prince Adam or He-Man using the sword to absorb most all the technological energy, we get to see Triclops and Trapjaw, all of them turn back into their original selves. So I think
Right.
that's going to be cool to get them back in their original form. I mean, I like the Motherboard version, but I'm all about the classics. So I'm
Right.
glad that we're going to get to see those classic versions of them. But I mean, sky's the limit for what comes next as far as with Revelation. I mean, we already know again
Keldor
it's going to be the best
Keldor
one.
got everything sucked up out of him. Like that man got reverted back to Keldor.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. That was awesome. I think
like
that was freaking fantastic because, again, you don't get to see Keldor at all really on the stage with He-Man, and so
right.
to see that and see him as who he is, just gonna be pretty awesome. Now, with that being said, that again tells me we're about to see King Hess because we know that Skeletor wants his Havoc step back, and whenever they fight enemy that big, you're probably going to see him with He-Man trying to go across that evil, and of course he betrays him because again he's kind of like the Loki Thor type character, so I could definitely see that being in the future. But yeah, man, all I can say is, man, poor tour hunters, man. We're gonna be looking for the Man of Arms suit now with the new Man of Arms, the jumbo suit, the new Andra with her suit, the three Tilas, the new Evil Lynn character. They already got the
Hey,
back.
that's gonna be a beautiful collection. That's all I gotta say. Because if y'all like obviously if you're watching this, you got to be a Masters of the Universe fan, so you know these Revelation toys that have came out over the past 3 years are nothing short but beautiful. The articulation is amazing. You know what I'm saying? The craftsmanship on these toys is fantastic. Like it is nothing short of perfect when it comes to these toys. So you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a beautiful collection, you know what I'm saying, with with this going on. You're gonna have a beautiful collection. You know what I'm saying? From Prince Adam, like of course Johnny Quest Gaming, he has the Prince Adam toy and I've seen that in person and it's just like, wow, look at that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this is, because I think if I'm not mistaken, didn't they have Prince Adam in O2? Didn't they have a toy for him in O2? I believe they did.
They did, yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
But
I
but this
didn't get that one.
definitely like this Prince Adam bigger than the O2 Prince Adam, because I say between those because those two are the first two Prince Adams, designs of Prince Adam that is different from his He-Man persona, you know what I'm saying,
And I
from
think that's great too because, man, again, the Superman effect with Adam and He-Man, it made sense as a kid, I guess, or maybe I did think, but I didn't think about it as a kid. But as I get older, I'm like, Shazam really what made me put a spot on what He Man could be like. I was like, if Billy Batson can turn into Shazam, wouldn't it be cool if Adam was a small kid and he turned into He Man? Like that would be cool, the contrast.
Mhm.
And we didn't get that until, of course, again, got to go back to Mike Young, 2000X He Man, which is a phenomenal He Man, one of the best incarnations of He Man. Again, it's on its own storyline. And then another Easter egg is the Sword of Power in this one when it got upgraded,
Right.
reminiscent to that story with the opening up the sword and the opening up and all that. So,
Yeah,
man,
the sword upgrade, of course, is perfect, and then we like getting like it storing magical energy when it magical and technological energy when it's being thrown at it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like kinetic energy, well, the magical and technological energy, I should say, and so all of that was just on point, man. It was on point.
I
I
still
can't.
think it's King Hiss, though. I still think he was doing all that because of King Hiss. That's
Oh,
just my
most
opinion.
definitely. Because I mean, well, King has got to come. I mean, after you seeing this right here, King has got to come because after the threat of Hordak, which of course Hordak is still a threat because he's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, this is a forward review. So if you ain't seen the first 5 episodes of Revolution yet, I don't know what to tell you. Why you here? You got to go see them right now. You know what I'm saying? If you made this far in the video, then I mean, you already know we spoiling. So, but yeah. Um, the Despera, who of course we saw at the end. I can't wait to see her because I already know she's gonna be. I can't wait to see her because I know she's gonna be fantastically gorgeous on here, like Adora. I mean, it's Adam's sister. All you gotta do is look at Adam, and then you know what I'm saying, and you see how Tila and all the other beautiful women look on here. So you know Adora is gonna be striking. You know what I'm saying? That's
Man,
not even her She-Ra persona. You know what I'm
I
saying? That's
cannot wait to see what her costume look like. But Despera, for those who don't know who Despera is, the original story of He Man on the animated series, from back in the 80s and to continue on to this one, what happened was originally Adora is He Man's twin sister. And one of Hordak's jobs for Skeletor was to take one of the children, I think murder one of them and keep one of them. But Man of Arms was able to save Prince Adam. And then with the Veil of Magic from the sorcerers, they made everybody forget that there was a princess. So basically, they would live their lives and not try to go after her, hunt her down, or whatever. But the only
Hmm.
person that knew that secret, of course, was the king, the queen, and man at arms, and of course, sorceress. Because apparently they thick as thieves, they know everything. Like man at arms is like a vault of secrets. He know everybody's business.
Right.
But so Vespera, she's been trained by Shadow Weaver to basically be Hordak's successor in a way. But Hordak is smart. He keeps his enemies closest, and he knows to need that blood of Grayskull around him for
Hmm.
his whims of what he's doing. And so, originally in the comic series, Despera came to Eternia to basically raise war against the kingdom, and she did a really good job. She was killing people left and right, and then she got betrayed by Hordak, and of course, then that kind of opened up her eyes. And then her mother, because at that point, Shadow Weaver has became her mother. She pretty much wanted her to get away from Hordak and, you know, kind of go on her own way. And from that point, she ended up finding out that, of course, she was part of the blood of Grayskull, and she actually got her powers from the by stabbing Adam and damn near bringing him to death because she had to reenact the whole bloodletting of the original Great Skull. And from that blood, of course, She-Ra was born, and she got her powers, and those two were able to stop King Hiss, and they were able to stop Hordak and all that. So, really good series. The comic, if you haven't read the comic, I suggest you read it. If you're one of those people that couldn't deal with um, Revelations, then the violence, you probably won't be able to read it because it is a lot more violent, a lot more people die. Way more serious in this one, but that DC storyline is definitely A1 He-Man lore.
And who told you that? Go, hey, dog, you gotta read them He-Man books, dog.
Hey man, just Slim Jim took me on to that, man. 100%, 100%. Because I
Hey,
mean, I knew the lore from like tours and stuff like that, but I didn't see it in any type of media format until he introduced me to that. And that blew my mind. It was just really great storytelling, and that's why whenever these series came out, nothing really surprised us on this. As far as like, of course, it's great. The animation, it's kind of like reading Invincible and then seeing a cartoon. The comics were great, really good. You definitely got to read the comics. The animation just took it to the next level. Same thing here. Like the comics, you got to read those comics because they set you the tone for the whole series. And then when you get to the animation, it's just like, oh, like cream on the icing. Or it'll that particular fruit will help raise your loincloth, to quote a phrase from the show.
right, right. Yeah, I'm saying like, hey, yeah, cause she got, hey, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Like straight up like that. It was just simply amazing. Uh, it was simply amazing. Like because like I say, like if you're a fan of something, it's just like with the Transformers. Like, okay, if you love Transformers since the '80s, shout out to Transformers who turned 40 this year. If you love Transformers since the '80s, you know what I'm saying, then that's what's up. But understand that it's more than just the '80s cartoon. You know what I'm saying? You got so much more than saying. Even if you don't like all the movies, which of course a lot of us, as time went on, don't really too much care about the Michael Bay movies, but the most recent movies that have come out, what I'm saying, we dig them from Bumblebee into the last one. And then, just the other lore like Transformers, the one I'm talking, what was the name of it? Transformers, the one that came out.
Rise of the Beast.
No. I was talking about the animated series Transformers Prime, Transformers Prime.
Transformers Prime, yeah.
Transformers Prime, like that was freaking amazing because it brought back Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, which I believe that was his best iteration as Megatron in my opinion. But like that series and all the other stuff that's come out of Transformers, like right now the current book that's out from Skybound, which is freaking amazing. You know what I'm saying? All of these, iterations of these properties that have been around since the '80s. Like if you're a fan of them, you're gonna check out. What I'm saying, you're gonna at least check out what new iteration is out, and don't be like, oh, they're ruining my blah blah blah. Like the last thing I thought when I first heard Revelation was coming out, like, oh, they're gonna ruin He Man. I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what it's like, and if it's good, then I'm rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't good, I'm gonna talk about it. Like the like at this point, even though I love the majority of the music in New Adventures of He-Man, but that would be at the bottom of the list when it comes to my least favorite iteration of He-Man. It would be the New Adventures of He-Man. So Revolution and Revelation, they just the way they have woven this from Revelation to now Revolution with these first 5 episodes, and I can't wait to see the next five. Man, like I say, the animation is beautiful. The voices, all of that is on point. You know what I'm saying? It is on point. And I can't say enough. No, I will say as much as I freaking possibly can. And it's just like, wow, it's just wow all around. And
Definitely, man. I mean, great story. Can't wait for the next 5 episodes. Can't wait for the next series. I hope they go down this rabbit hole for the series as far as they can, at least to cover the King His saga.
I love the seven reference too. I love the seven reference because Skeletor was bringing Hordak something in the box. My first thought was seven as well when I saw that. I'm reading some comments in the Facebook Masters group, and somebody was like, I'm gonna shout this guy out. Hold on, I'm gonna shout this guy out. He had said his first thought when he saw the box, he was like, "What's in the box?" You know what I'm saying? Like, whole trip because I already knew, hey, he had old girl head in the box. Like, yeah, like that's him. But David Warren Hernandez, he said I couldn't help but think in that scene in Revolution, what's in the box. So shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up, like man.
Man, top notch. And so let's go to the critic scores. I mean, we're not the only people that are going crazy about this series. It's sitting right now at an 8.1 with IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 100%, which is amazing. CBR has it at 95%. I don't know if Mediatric has put a score on there. The only score that I seen that was a bit of an issue was IGN. IGN they had a gripe because of the show was so short.
That's the only gripe. That's
I
my
mean,
only.
really,
Like
that's the
I
only
need at
gripe you
least
can
20
have.
episodes of this stack.
Right, I don't blame on that. But as far as overall, it's been well reviewed. I don't think that anybody's gonna have any issues with what comes next. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it 100%. I can't wait.
Wait,
Just really super excited about it.
I'm
And
seeing somebody say that this is their or somebody is saying that this is just 5 episodes in Revolution.
it might be. I mean, they might start with a different storyline. I mean, that's
I
possible.
mean, I'm with that, but dang, I need I need more though. I
But
mean,
I don't think so because you think about it, Revolution, Despera is literally coming to. She's really the person that's behind the revolution, if you think about it, because she's trying
yeah,
to raise Eternia to the ground. That's her whole thing. So, oh, and let me, if we can, I'm gonna share my screen before we probably get ready to head out of here, so I can show y'all um some stuff if I can find my window. Here we go. All right, if you want to share some, pull it up. So here goes some
woo,
of the
look at
steals
that.
on there, man.
Look at that Snake Teal baby. And and we ain't even talk about his upgrade armor right there. That armor was clean, man. My guy had the cape, you know what I'm saying? Got the shoulder pad piece, you know what I'm saying? Got the ponytail, you know what I'm saying? The hair slick back on it, you know what I mean? That
And what
boy
a blend of everything, man. Like he even got on the symbol from the new CGI He-Man.
right,
And we
exactly.
know their worlds collide because we've actually seen those characters on that show. So in their own animation. So let me go to the
Like,
beginning here so we can get these steals.
you know, that's the shot right there, boy. Like, yo, them, yeah, this man. Look at Lynn and Oracle. You know what I'm saying? Not evil Lynn and Oracle.
The tag team that you never thought of, you know?
Right, tag team back again. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Oracle for his glow up in the last season. And go Skeletor, Triclops, and Motherboard right there. You know what I'm saying? Triclops looking at him looking like a whole partner over there, looking like he about to daggone give somebody some juice and crackers and everything. You did. You know what I'm saying? And
There's
there
one
he is.
good
There's
one.
the tag team. There's the tag team you never thought you was gonna see right there.
And look
There's
at the actual house from the TV from the movie, which is just so cool. That's so
right.
awesome.
Exactly. Like I said, when I first seen it, when I saw them walk up to the door, I was like, that's Gwildor's door, bro. We about to see Gwildor up in here.
See,
Like
for
and
the toy collectors, we already had that spoiled for us, but it was still cool to see him on it nonetheless. And here
and
goes the touching scene of the two finally together.
right. Hey, that's why that's the thumbnail, man. That's why that's the thumbnail. Straight up, man. Look at Hordak looks freaking phenomenal, man. Like he is like the man. And and so crazy because being an artist, being an artist and just looking at animation steals and you see, I mean, like when you just look at a shot, you know what I'm saying, the breakdown of colors, you know what I'm saying, and just in that shot, the base tone, the flat color, you know what I'm saying, the shadow work, you know what I'm saying, and then of course you get the detail within the eye with all of that going on, it's dope and simple at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's just dope and simple at the same time. And it's like what like man, it's just dope and simple at the same time, man.
It break my heart because I really think I want to start calling more animation based. Because I mean,
Yeah,
really, all it is one color,
it
and then it's
really is.
just
That's all it is. And
saturated with a shadow
right,
tone,
right.
but it looks great.
Right. And you know and it goes hard, you know what I'm saying? It goes hard and then you be like, dang, man, I be doing all this extra stuff. But sometimes the extra stuff is dope too, because you know what I'm saying, of course, because we're thinking about steel shots in terms of, we're not, you know what I'm saying, like we don't have to worry about it moving in that
Right.
sense. But at the same time, like when you just see this, it's just like, you got a shadow, a light, and the flat color. You feel me? And then of course you got the glowy color, like the glow stuff on Skeletor right there. And so it's just like, man, like it's freaking great. And what I liked about this, the aspect of Skeletech, as he called himself for a little sec. Skeletech, what I like about this was it was kind of an homage to the New Adventures of He-Man, because he had got that, I guess, technological upgrade, even though he still looked goofy as crap in the New Adventures of He-Man. But this right here, his look here was freaking amazing. And then of course you got those two different looks of Skeletor from him right here and then of course his glow up when he combined his technology and magic together. So, like, man, those two toys right there are gonna be amazing too.
Yeah,
uh,
um, this one's already out right now.
okay.
That was pretty awesome. Um,
Hey, there you go. Got his armor on. He came out there with his helmet. You feel me? He was like, "Hey, I'm going in." You know what I'm saying? When I saw that big flash of red flap out, because I was like, "Man, who about to help them out?" Because T was about to get hit, and then boom, he came through, and he's like, "Yeah, I got it. I got it, y'all. Don't even sweat it. I'm here. I'm here. I ain't dying yet." You feel me? We up in here, man. This was simply amazing, man. This was simply amazing, and I'm hoping it's not just 5 episodes of Revolution, but at the same time, if this is just 5 episodes, whatever the next 5 episodes gonna be, whatever they want to call, whether they want to call it, revamp or remember or whatever R word they want to call it, say, hey, whatever, just bring it to me. I needs it. I needs it. I needs it. Like, look at that joint right there. Even though the scene is of course backwards because his Havoc staff arm was on the other arm, but still that shot is freaking dope. You know what I'm saying? That shot is dope. There you go. You know what I'm saying? He's like, hey, let me go ahead and call this power up, man. You know what I'm saying? You can call this power up. You know what I'm saying? Like, is in there. Shout outs to Randor, man. Randor, of course, RIP, the King Randor, who even came back from the afterlife to help out his boy. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
what a Dragon Ball Z Goku moment.
Right.
What a Gohan Goku moment. And then there's another thing too. Let's go to this where look at these nods to She-Ra with the rainbow power.
Oh yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And that's just light effect period too, because light reflection, you got the rainbow in light in the spectrum of light. So it's like I don't know. Some people be weird when it comes to all that. It's like the rainbow is light, y'all. It's the color spectrum. Dang it.
No doubt. I mean, with that one though, I just think they just trying to show, how they gonna connect the two's powers. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, that right there, that whole scare glow thing was dope too. Shout out to Tony Tog on his scare on doing his scare glow again. That was dope right there, and them getting back Clamp Champ and Fist though. You know what I'm saying, getting their souls back, because it's a trip, because like and that was very important to the storyline too. Them getting what I'm saying, Preternia back. Getting back the afterlife that was destroyed, because it. I mean, it needs to come back. They need to have their afterlife. They're having to come back. You feel me? So
Yeah,
that,
that's
that
deep. That was deep.
that was an important part of the storyline. As far as getting that back and popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, whatever happened then, hey, we die, we die. We know where we going. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta Our souls ain't gotta wonder until they don't exist no more. You know what I'm saying? That shot of Skeletor was dope right there. You know what I'm saying? That shot just, and you know what I'm saying, and he was wearing his hoodie down over half his eye, so emo.
Right. But it was definitely necessary. It's just awesome, man.
Man,
Awesome, awesome.
he just dope with it. That shot of He-Man's dope. Look at my girl, my Snake Teela right there, man. Snake Teela was up in there. I know when you first saw the staff. When you first saw the staff, I know you was oh.
Man, I'm telling you, all I can see is when I watch the show is new toy, new toy, new toy, new
Right,
toy, new toy, new toy, new toy, new
right.
toy.
Yo, talk about it, like for real, like hey. And you can't help but be geeked when you see this, because the toys are freaking amazing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even when I'm looking at Tiga on my wall right now, I got Tiga, with the buzz cut. Her secondary look. That was throughout most of our Revelation. You know what I'm saying? Like that Tiga now. You know what I'm saying? People can look at that Tiga now and be like, oh, okay. Like, because they was trying to be like, oh, is this how Tiga look now? Oh, she looks so manly. I don't want Tiga looking like this, man. This just one of her looks, bro. This is just
Manly.
so calm down.
Oh, manly.
All right.
Definitely can't say it about this, Taylor.
No, bro. No, not at all. And so it's just like, they couldn't, they was shaking in their timbers, seeing Tiga in pants. They was like just wilding out. Like like calm down. Like calm down. Like Tiga had her whole world rocked. Like Adam died. She found out she was the sorcerer's daughter, and then magic was gone. And so it was just like, man, like,
And then another thing is too, I think the voices. I think the way they picked the voices was cool because Sarah Michelle Gellar, for her at that time, was great because Sarah Michelle Gellar has that kind of rebellious, bratty type sounding voice,
mm-hmm,
and I think that was perfect. And of course, she does at that time kind of give you that Buffy the vampire type vibe too, with the
mm-hmm,
muscularity. Like I could see
mm-hmm.
that, like the voice fit her perfectly. I don't see
Yeah.
anything wrong with that voice at the time, and I mean,
Yeah, both of them fit her. Sarah and Melissa both did a great job on me and Tila. And see, here's the thing. Also, what I'm saying, like, at least with me, when it come to voices on the cartoon, I don't care if they're big celebrities or big name stars or whatever the case. As long as they do a good job voicing it, that's all I care about. I don't care if it's Bob from across the street. As long as he sounds good doing the character, I don't care who they are. But it does give you a big, it does make you feel good when you know that the person who is doing the voice is somebody who does great voices. Like, when Mark Hamill, when we first found out Luke Skywalker was the Joker's voice, I was like, wonder how. Like, at first, I ain't even gonna lie to you, I didn't even know that it was Mark Hamill doing the voice until I looked at the credits, and I was like, wait, Mark Hamill is the Joker? Luke Skywalker? Okay, that's like,
I wouldn't have known it back in the day. To be honest, I would not have known.
it wasn't a big announcement that Luke Skywalker was playing the Joker. It's just like when we first heard the late great freaking Kevin Conroy being Batman. I didn't know who Kevin Conroy was. He was just I didn't know who he was. Nobody knew who Kevin Conroy was then. But you know what sold it for us is what him as Batman first and foremost. The animation back then when we saw him as Batman, then we saw him as this big swole Bruce Wayne, and we was like, man, who is that? Like Bruce Wayne, swole as crap. And you heard the affliction in his voice, like how he sounded as Bruce Wayne, you know, like a high society guy. And then when he got down with Batman, and it was like, man, this dude is good. And as the years went by, you know, and you know, of course, you saw his name in the credits, and like, oh, that Kevin Conroy, yeah, that dude, he Batman. That's
Right,
Batman. That's Batman. And at that point, you know, 30 years later, and now of course he's gone, rest in peace. That is the Batman, straight up. You know, that is the Batman. So
the one and only.
right, and shout outs once again to, you know what I'm saying, everybody who has done the, you know, who's voice, everybody who's a part of this series. Shout outs to all of them. You know what I'm saying, from the storyboard artists to the directors to the animators to the voice actors, you know what I'm saying, to everybody who was a part of production, you know what I'm saying, all that, the producers, all that, who brought this. I mean, everybody who was a part of this was definitely a labor of love and just appreciation for the series to put this, you know, together. You know what I'm saying? On that, my only gripe is that it's short. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I'm hoping that this is just that we do get another 5 episodes, whether it's part two of Revolution or not. Either way it go, I know we gonna get something. I know. I just hope it ain't in another 3 years. I don't want to wait another 3 years. I hope y'all know that, hey, we ready for it. Please give us some more before the year is up, at least. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Revolution Part 2 or whatever else y'all want to name the next 5 episodes, whatever. Just please give it to us. We need it.
Please, man, please give it to us.
Please.
Well, y'all, man, thank y'all again for tuning in to the Nerd Strip Club. We're glad we're back. We got some new episodes coming for you. We're gonna just not just little small things. 2024, man. We expect to do more and give you guys more. So you're gonna see much more of us, man. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in. And you know, it's glad to be in 2024, man. Let's keep rocking. Let's keep doing our thing, man. You're gonna see a lot from Urban God Inc. You're gonna see a lot from us individually as creators. So we just ready, man, and we're glad that y'all here with this journey with us, and hope that you continue on to be with us, man.
Most definitely. Like I say on my channel, y'all. I'm on my YouTube channel every day, Slim Jim Longfoot. Like I say, we going for more in 2024 from Johnny Quest Gaming to me, Slim Jim Longfoot. I appreciate y'all. If you watching this in the replay, laid back, way back in the playback, please leave your comments below. Let us know what you thought of this great series Revolution, and what else you want us to cover on this you know, on the Nerd Strip Club. Because you know, we cover it all. We cover games, we cover music, we cover anime, we cover, you know, the TV shows, live action. We cover it. You know what I'm saying? If we love it, we gonna talk about it. If we love it, we gonna talk about it, baby. So anything else, Johnny Coy's game?
That's it, man. Just stay up, watch He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Revolution, and let's get those views up so we can get more and more seasons.
That part. And with that being said, we out, people. Peace.